Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, July 10th, 2025. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. This week, Homebrewer Scott Housel answers the Mash Your Luck Challenge with not one, but 3 beers brewed from common ingredients. 2 were brewed with the same yeast, and 2 were brewed with the same mash. We'll also taste a bonus beer from Scott's Flambic project. If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing, and many thanks to everybody who's helping out in that way. If you go to patreon.com/basicbrewing, you can see a long list of stuff that you can access if you sign up as a supporter. Many thanks to the new Patreon subscribers who are signing up every week. Your help is very much appreciated. Financial supporters this week will see an early release of the video episode that Steve Wilkes and I shot tasting my UK Triple IPL, which was also a response to the Mash Your Luck Challenge. This is the beer that had almost a pound of UK Harlequin hops. You heard us taste that beer on this show a while back. It didn't turn out as expected, but I like it anyway. I've got a bunch of it still in the basement to see how it ages a bit. Financial supporters will also get that recipe and a behind-the-scenes video of how that beer came together. Hope you all had a great 4th of July holiday last week if you celebrate Independence Day. We spent it with our friends Scott and Claudia. We met them in Kansas City and had lots of barbecue. We even saw some live jazz. And we saw Elvis Costello and the Imposters with Charlie Sexton. Always good to see Elvis. I've got ingredients to brew my Japanese lager with Imperial's Kanpai yeast. I think I'll have time this weekend to brew. I sure hope so. I got this email from Christian in Japan following our discussion about formulating a recipe for that Japanese-inspired beer. Christian says, about a month back you were discussing potential unique ingredients for a Japanese rice lager, and I think somebody mentioned ube. Ube isn't Japanese, though it is grown here, but we do have a similar endemic tuber, the Japanese purple sweet potato, also known as beni imo or murasaki imo. Christian says, I've been waiting to send this message because coincidentally I was brewing a purple sweet potato beer when I listened to your podcast. Well, it's nice and carved up now and absolutely beautiful. I used a Saison grist, 70% pills, 10% each of flaked wheat, table sugar, and Japanese purple sweet potato, and brewed it with Belgian yeast and punchy hops, Nelson, Huguenot, and Mosaic. And Christian sent a photo, and the beer is absolutely beautiful. He's right. It's actually got a pink foam and a definite red tint. And I bet it tastes as good as it looks. Appreciate your taking time to send the photo, Christian. Our friends and sponsors at Imperial Yeast have introduced 2 new seasonal yeast strains, L76 Clyde and L36 Raygun, 2 lager strains for crafting excellent summer brews. L36 Raygun is great for brewing crisp, clean Australian-style lagers for a smooth, balanced malt finish. L76 Clyde is a classic American-style strain. Clyde ferments crisp and dry with minimal sulfur and diacetyl. Both are available now until the end of July or when they sell out. Lagers are continuing to grow in volume and popularity across the country, and I got to tell you, I'm digging them. Ask your local homebrew store about L36 Raygun and L76 Clyde while you can. Go into the heat with some cold lagers, and of course, you can check out all the dependable deliciousness at imperialyeast.com. That's imperialyeast.com. Okay, we're back to a smaller group this week. It's only 4 of us this time, and we are a lucky 4 because we get to taste beers from Scott Housel. Scott Housel, welcome back to Basic Brewing Radio.
Great to be back. Thank you.
These are your beers today, and with us sampling them are from Twin Span Brewing in Bettendorf, Iowa, Adam Ross.
Happy to be here, James.
And author of the Homebrew Recipe Bible, Methods of Modern Homebrewing, and How to Make Seltzer, and countless articles in various publications all around the land, Mr. Chris Colby.
Hey, James. Thanks for having me on the show.
We got 4 beers in front of us. I guess we'll take the opportunity to drink these. This is the penultimate. I mean, this is the show before the official anniversary show. Whatever I'm going to run next week is going to be is going to be the anniversary show, if there is a show next week. So let's pour a beer and talk about this. It's labeled beer, and if you're a fan of Public Image Limited, you'll love the label. Scott, what are we drinking?
Well, both of these, this is the starter beer that I made to make the Big Masher Luck beer.
Oh,
And the label comes from, both of these are they harken back to my early high school days. So hence Public Image Limited. And then we'll talk about the big beer later. But this beer is about 5%. I had original gravity of 1048 and final gravity of 1010. I used 5 pounds of Barca Pilsner malt, which is 5 pounds is about 2.3 kilograms. And then I used 3 pounds of Barca Vienna malt because I bought these to make the big beer. So I went all Barca. 3 pounds is about 1.4 kilograms. I did a first wort hop of Holler Tower. It's like 2.6% alpha acid, so really low. So that was 60 minutes. I did a 30-minute addition, 1 ounce of Hallertau, and a 15-minute 1 ounce of Hallertau, and that's 28 grams. A little bit of gypsum, a little bit of lactic acid to bring my pH down, and I used Imperial Harvest yeast.
Oh, okay.
Which Harvest is supposedly the Augustiner strain.
I could drink that all day. What are my catchphrases? It's delicious. I could drink that all day. I'd pay $1 for that.
Balanced.
It is super crisp, and the malt character really comes out without it being heavy on the tongue. It's a super malty beer, but there's certainly enough bitterness to balance it off. It's just if I got that at a commercial establishment, I would be over the moon happy. It's wonderful.
It's funny you said Barca in there, and that's all Barca, because I'm getting no fermentation character. I'm getting the only flavor I'm getting in this is Barca malt, and I've used it. I've used plenty of Weirmann, regular Pilsner, and Vienna, and then I've used Barca, and Barca brings this really unique flavor, and that is absolutely on display. Like, this is the beer, if someone, to help sell the Barca malts, this would be the beer that you're like, this is the character that the family farm brings to the table. It's a really unique flavor. I couldn't put my finger on it until you mentioned the Barca farm.
And if you drink too much of it, you'll become a Barca lounger. You just What's the origin? Where's Barca?
Well, from the Weirmann website, it is made. This is about the Pilsner malt itself, from the finest German two-row historical summer brewing barley, Barca. The long-loved characteristic malt aroma of Barca is the perfect base for intensely flavorful, bright lager beers. Results in an excellent body and a pronounced full bodiness. In the sensory notes, pronounced malt aromas with underlying toffee notes, with a pleasant and soft mouthfeel.
So it's a variety of barley.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's I believe it's a family farm, the Barca family. I think it's Eastern Germany-ish, because Weirmann's out of Nuremberg, I believe. So it's nearby.
Wow.
Yeah, toffee. That's it. I get I've always thought of Barca malts as kind of a like if you're ever standing in a corner of wheat field right after it's been harvested and everything's really dry and kind of husky. That's grainy, quote, graininess, but I definitely get some toffee underneath this.
Yeah, and they call that out in the Barca Vienna. The sensory is intense malt sweet, light toffee, honey, and nut notes. And then why does it say amused, soft mouthfeel? Amused.
It's It's
Maybe that's a
amusing.
translation thing.
It's amusing. It's an
Yeah.
amusing mouthfeel.
I'm amused.
But this was at it was my first lager. I've done some Kolsch's, but this is my first lager. Fermented, I mashed at 149, and I fermented starting at 60 degrees at the top of the temperature range, and then I raised it up for the diacetyl rest.
This is
Wow.
really your first lager ever.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really good job. That is, I know a lot of commercial breweries that can't get their lagers this clean. I mean,
Mhm.
this is. I mean, there are different lager strains bring different fermentation characteristics, but this is just so clean. All I'm getting is the malt. So good job. Couldn't tell you if this was Augustiner or Weinstefaner or whoever. So maybe something was missed there, but it's yeah, just clean.
yeah. Brew day was about 2 months ago. It was May 12th was the
Oh,
brew day.
No, this is good. This is a good beer. Poured very clear, very lots of effervescence, lots of fizziness, decent foam stand, and yeah, the that malt character is when I first tasted it, I was like, what's this going on? And then you explained it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's a yeah, I could see trying that malt in some beers it would work very very well as along with whatever else I'm using. But yeah, very interesting, and then very well brewed. Yeah, it's free from fermentation faults. And it just looks and smells and tastes like a good beer.
I'm
That's
sm-
all.
I'm I'm smelling some lemony notes on the nose, just a teeny bit. I don't know if anybody else is getting that.
I could be talked into it. I get that a lot in German Pilsner malt.
I don't know anything about psychology. I'll say yeah. I hear some.
Scott, this has too much going on to be to have such a bland label. I know I don't understand the musical reference or whatever was made on that because
Well, the singer
yeah,
from the Sex Pistols, when the Sex Pistols fell apart, he formed Public Image Limited, and I
okay.
think this was their third album. So if you bought the record, it said album on it. If you bought the cassette, which I did, that said cassette.
It's sad.
And
Yeah.
then later they came out with compact disc.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it's meant to mimic the
The old generic
yeah, the
brand labels.
generic,
Yeah.
which is kind of a callback to, is it Repo Man where they had the generic beer?
Yeah.
Ah,
But I mean, they had it in real life. I remember seeing it
Right.
as like I was either in elementary school or junior high, and I saw it on the shelves, and it was just beer. And I was too young to buy beer at the time, but if I could go back in time and just grab a 6 pack of that and like stash it away forever, it could be a good, sort of nostalgia show.
And
At sometimes just bring
and you've put an S on the Public Image Limited logo, so it says pills, which is
yeah,
yeah, that's it.
PIL, PIL.
very clever.
It's okay. It's a clever label, Scott.
Oh, thanks.
There is there's more going on in the beer than in the label, though. If I just saw this on the store shelves, and I would probably buy it for a beer to just label itself as beer and a label like that. I'd be like, okay, you got me. Let's give
Yeah,
it a
that's
try.
one of my Kolsch's I called beer flavored beer, and the
Hmm.
other one was "Hello, my name is beer," and I put like name tags on it, and that was my way for the people that I will give beers to. Some of them just want a regular beer, and I don't do that a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is. I'd say it's perfect. I can't find anything wrong with it at all. And for that to be your first lager ever,
Yeah, good.
I want to give notes. No beer is perfect. If I were to do this again, especially since it's a pills, I want a little more hop aroma. I want a little more hop presence. Because otherwise, if you called this a Helles, I would say you're closer to a Helles, but maybe back off the bitterness, add a little more body. But if you're going to call it pills, I would say just add some more hop presence. And then maybe a water adjustment because it's coming up just a little just if on a dartboard, the bullseye, you're like right next to the circle. You're hitting it. You're so close. It just needs a little nudge in that direction.
In
Absolutely
which,
nothing wrong with the spear. I'm just how do we
in
how
which
do we
in
get
which
closer to that?
direction though? What is it missing water wise, or what minerality are you missing?
Oh, I don't know. I need to try another taste of that. I was getting queued up ready for the next beer. I need to pour a little more.
Yeah, but I mean, which chemical would you which mineral would you add? Or
Chemical.
well, everything's a chemical, but
Definitely some I don't know.
he's making it
I,
pink
I mean, I
pink
would guess
Himalayan
gypsum
salt.
from what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you want more,
Pink
more,
salt, the big
Pink
stuff
Himalayan
that
salt.
you have to grind up. But only do it during a full moon, Scott.
Wave a chicken leg
Gotcha.
over the fermenter.
I don't know. They're just there's a little something in the middle that's slack on the palate. So I would say maybe a little more gypsum or a little less gypsum. Just,
Well, it's good that you can be so
so
specific.
either
Perfect.
more or less gypsum.
yes, just do
Nice.
something.
So I'll go from 3 grams to 5 or 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. I got it.
No beer is perfect, James. We must always be pursuing.
I mean,
how can we make better beer?
I mean, if it had a teeny bit of hop aroma, that would, I'd be happy with that.
How about some hibiscus, Scott? You could add some hibiscus to this.
Don't get me started. It'll have hibiscus and ginger.
I need a
Yeah, it's
Gilligan's
sort of-
Island sound effect.
Depends on. I mean, Pilsner covers a fairly broad range. I mean, this I would say is reminiscent in some ways of Vorsteiner. If you're going to try to make more of a Bitburger, I would increase the bittering hops quite a bit. You wouldn't have to do anything on the back end, but just like Bitburger, you taste that, and it has a nice hop crunch to it. Whereas Warsteiner is more balanced. And then there's all the other German Pilsners that Weinsteppen and the other famous ones, and they all are recognizable as Pilsners, but taste different. And then there's then Pilsner or Kel, and
Yeah. No, Varsummer, that's absolutely what this is. That clicked for me. More minerals. Just dial everything up a little bit so it gets a little more of that mineral water. I'm not even joking. That is give a little more of that minerality so you can to where it's affecting flavor rather than just body and chemistry. And then maybe mash a degree or two warmer.
just go to your local garden center and buy stuff and start dumping it in.
Yeah,
Just put some salt around the rim of the glass.
Yeah.
And,
And a lime.
And there you go. Well, that was dang good.
Yeah.
And that was just a starter beer for a beer to be consumed later. So your mash your luck characteristics, if my notes are correct, were very high ABV, low bitterness, amber, lager with German influence. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we may not want to drink that one now, but that's what this starter beer went into to ferment.
And that was the one that we said when people were asking about what like commercial would be close to that. We were talking about Sammy Claus, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
12% lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had
So,
a
yeah.
can of Sammy Claus the other day.
Oh, did you?
I grabbed it, in preparation. It actually says Triple Bock. It's a little can. It's
Huh.
14%, and they put Triple Bock on there. And comparing the two, I mean, maybe I'm getting ahead, but I think theirs definitely ended up richer, and I feel like it's kind of like eating a date.
Ooh.
Not like Hannibal Lecter style, but like
I was gonna say
as
with a
opposed
nice
to a
Chianti.
fig or a raisin. Yeah, just like a thicker, a thicker sweetness.
Yeah, Sammy
That
Claus
makes
was
sense.
always, just like a punch in the face of malt.
Yeah.
So what should we taste next then? You're the
Well,
I was
let's
gonna
go
say
with the
sommelier.
it's got I have a different one, but I think it'll say sumac slightly tart ale.
Yep.
Yes.
I think it's got a
Yeah, I have
lion
a
on it
lion
or
on mine.
something. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one. So this yeah, I'm jumping around all over the place. So what I did when I made the big beer, the 12%, I didn't sparge and I took those grains. I actually did the reiterated mash and I kind of
Oh,
did like another mash for both of those parts of that. And I ended up with a 1058 wort that was just the leftovers from those grains. And the
What?
1058 wort, I started it with Philly Sour. And then about 2 days in, I pitched BE 134, the Saison yeast, and was trying to pull a little Saison character. I don't think I got much of that, but there's this company called Burlap and Barrel, and they make it's called Single Origin Spices, and they've got a really cool story for the company. They're public benefit corporation, means you directly support smallholder farmers around the world, and if you want, read more about it. But it sounds like a really cool company, and they made this cured sumac that I got. So I made a little tincture, and I put it in this beer.
So what drove you to sumac? Because I think I've only ever used sumac with cooking fish.
I don't know. I had seen it somewhere, and I always wanted to try it. And then I saw a source to get it. So with this company, I ordered some different stuff, and I got some sumac and started playing with it.
Yeah, my experience with sumac is like one time I cooked some trout with sumac fairly recently, but never heard of it in beer.
Yeah, I only ever knew it as poison sumac
yeah.
when
I
I
was
was
just
growing
gonna
up.
say
my
you
my
do know
lips
the
are
difference
itching.
between.
My lips are itching.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to blame my plastic cup, but I'm getting almost like a Guinness amount of foamy, nice foamy head on the top of this, and the color is. I'm holding it up to my camera, and it's like several shades darker on the camera than it is in my hand. It's like a slightly coppery, I'd say golden color.
Yeah, that's 5, 6. That's around.
And so this was essentially sort of a party guile kind of a thing because you took the grains from the reiterated mash process and then you sparged them and you got this beer.
Yeah, it was kind of like a batch sparge. Like that
Wow.
was I just had so many vessels all around the kitchen and trying to
Hmm.
keep track of those. It was a little more frenetic than I wanted, but
Wow.
mostly I was just trying to hold temperature for a little while, let it mash a little longer, and then
So
do the
it's in
sparge.
the same family. So this is the same grains that we just tasted in the previous beer, essentially, or
No, the big one has a different grain bill,
okay. Well,
but
maybe
it is
maybe
it
we
is
should
still Barca.
okay. Maybe we should hold on talking about the recipe for the big beer then.
Okay, yeah.
Um, okay.
I don't know how to describe this beer. This is a flavor you don't ever see in beer.
It smells
It's
a little smoky.
yeah, smoky, fruity, savory. It's flipping all the switches here.
I like it. No big surprise. Turned into
After
Leon
I
Redbone
finished
there for me.
after I finished bottling, I must have shooken up the keg, and the next one I poured looked like the worst oxidized hazy IPA you've ever seen. It was that purple gray. It looked like thick, and I was like, man, what am I going to do if this does not clear up in these bottles? And then I was going to tell you guys that I sent you a sample of the worst hazy IPA oxygenation that I could, but
No,
luckily it cleared up.
Sumac brings a little pink purple to it, doesn't it?
It's like a super the dried sumac that I had is like a super dark red color, like verging on black or
Mhm.
super dark purple.
This is making me a little hungry. It's savory enough that it's just like really interesting.
there's a little earthiness in there. I'm trying to define, trying to find the adjectives to latch onto.
I'm getting the almost, I don't want to say maple because it's not maple, but it's like maple adjacent. It's like it would fit into if you're at a restaurant that's doing like maple wood smoked, I don't know, barbecue or something. I'm not getting a saison character to this. I think you're right
No.
there. I'm not getting much fermentation character at all. At least that I can separate from the sumac.
Slightly tart.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a sour note in it, which is nice. And it definitely is well carbonated. And my glass is kind of a foam killer, but even with that, the foam clings for a little while, which I view as a good thing.
Yeah.
So is sumac a powder? Is it a bark? Is it a leaf? I'm just playing the. I'm playing like I don't know what it is, but I actually do. But what is it?
I'm gonna say I don't really know what it is. It came in like little, what would it compare to? Like little flakes, um, like flattened. I don't like flattened black peppercorns would be the size, like maybe a little smaller than that. And I think it did contain a little salt since it was cured, so that might add to the savoriness a little bit. Um,
That would
but I know.
that would add body. That would add a little sweetness.
It's very nice.
Yeah, I think you created a new. So don't enter this into a competition, Scott, because no one would know where to place it. It is not that it's a bad beer. It's delicious. I'm gonna drink the whole thing. It's just I have no idea what to call this. I don't know where to place this. I think you actually. I know we're gonna get to your mash your luck, which the point of the mash your luck was to invent new beer styles. I think you created something new here.
Yeah, I feel like it's got. I mean, when you say cherry, like tart cherry, I feel like I can place a little bit of that. Um, Definitely with some earthy. I think with the tart beer, like a little bit of fruit character, but I couldn't put my finger on where that goes.
Oh, if you'd added like a dark cherry and like a Montmorency cherry to this would be that would step things up. This would be even better then.
Sumac, the actual ingredient is the fruits that have been dried and ground up, and they're sort of tart. It comes from a high concentration of malic acid. And yes, I do have access to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would say that sumac has a tart, tangy, and fruity flavor with a citrusy brightness and earthy undertones.
Wow.
It's often described as having a lemony taste, but with a more complex flavor profile that includes savory and even slightly metallic notes.
That's a really good. It's amazing you came up with that right on
Just
the
off
spot.
the
Nice job,
just
Jimmy.
off the
Just
top
off
of
the
my
top
head.
of my head.
That is astute.
Well, there's no hair up there, so there's plenty of room for lots of other things. I don't know. Yeah, I go along with savory. Fruity covers a lot, a lot of ground. It's just, yeah, it's like Adam said, it's like nothing I've ever tasted in a beer, but it's good.
Yeah, but can you imagine adding dark cherry to this? You'd get
Mm-hmm.
it would push it towards. Now it's not tart enough to be like a creek or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
It would go towards like I don't know, Scott, if you've ever had a New Glarus Belgian red, but it would push it towards that direction of like it's complex. It's not just a cherry beer. It's certainly not like a beer they added cherry extract to. It really just gets into the how complex can you make cherries, and I think that would be a fun addition to this beer. It would be a fruit beer that isn't just sweet, tart, intense. It would be a very complex, mature beer then.
Shall we break things up? I think we're leaning towards taking or tasting the Masher Luck beer last.
Yeah.
So shall we break this up a little bit and roll like one or two of the components of your next Masher Luck beer?
That sounds like a great idea.
You could also, I mean, not that it's always easy to say, take this in a different direction, but something that would work with this, I think the sumac, just a little bit of lemon, even even from like lemongrass, a relatively mellow source of that, they would, like citrusy malic acid things seem to blend pretty well.
Yeah, right.
And a little green apple, sort of that, or lemony, or yeah. I mean, I could see this working. I haven't used sumac in anything that I've cooked, but it seems like it would work in a large variety of things.
Hey, can I sidebar here? Have you guys speaking of lemongrass, made me think of this. I had a beer over the weekend from a brewery here in Iowa, Lionbridge. Do you guys get the gnat repellent spray? It's vanilla, citrus, and something else. And this stuff, it's all natural. There's no bizarre chemicals. It's just like three ingredients, and it works wonders to keep gnats away when you're outside. I think it might be, Iowa made product, but this brewery made and it's to the point where everyone just knows this smell because gnats are insane this time of year, and you cannot go outside without just getting chewed up. So everyone carries around this little bottle. This brewery made a beer that is labeled and looks like this bug repellent. And so my brother brought some. He lives near the brewery. It was good, but yeah, lemongrass, vanilla, and citra hops in this very blonde light beer.
Huh?
And some of the people at the party I was at over the 4th, they were just laughing about it and thought it was a bit off-putting. I was sitting over there quietly, just being like, I actually really like this. This is delicious. And yeah, it does smell like the bug spray that we use. Now I'm thinking maybe I should try drinking the bug spray and see how.
Legal disclaimer: don't drink bug spray.
Don't do what Adam does.
Deep Woods Double IPA. Okay, so for those of you not familiar with the Mash Your Luck Challenge, it's something that Adam and I came up with. Mostly Adam, but I named it. We divide beer into ABV, bitterness, color, type, and origin. And then we roll the dice, essentially, on each of those characteristics. So, for instance, let's start off with ABV. We have number 1, which is very low. 2 is low. 3 is medium. 4 is high. 5 is very high. So we have a spinning wheel here from 1 to 5. And so let's roll. The first roll.
Would it help if I sang "Wheel in the Sky" by Journey? Probably not.
Never.
Never. It never does help when I sing it.
So, medium.
I'm right. Thank you. So what's that? Like 10%?
Yeah, ask Adam.
No less than 15.
Medium
ABV. So, like into five category, 5 neighborhood. The neighborhood of 5, I would say.
It's medium, like when you go to a fast food joint and you order a medium drink and they give you like
Lord.
64-ounce cup. You're like, what is the large?
Yeah, the medium has changed since I was a kid. So ABV. So should we go ahead and do the bitterness while we're at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
I don't know where I'll be tomorrow.
so we have low to. I would say be careful for licensing, but I don't think that's recognizable as any kind of song.
I would have to hit the actual pitches.
Yeah. So for bitterness, we have low to mid, balanced, high, and very high. Okay, so here we go. Ooh, 1. Bitterness. Low bitterness.
All right.
Okay, we'll hold that in suspense for a while then. All right, are we ready for the next beer?
Okay. Yeah, the last extra one is lambic style, so that might be a bit sour. I don't know if you want to jump to the 12% lager.
Well, we might. Yeah, we might want to. The your flambics can get a little tart, so let's. They're delicious, but that might destroy our taste buds. So let's.
James and I at least have had a Scott Housel Florida lambic before.
Yes, and they're always good. Okay, so shall we? This is called Dr. Bishop 12% ABV Lager.
I named it after my ninth, 10th, 11th grade German teacher at a Christian school. He taught also freehand drawing, and we had a fantasy and future class, which was just amazing, like right around 1990. And he was just the coolest teacher. When he found out that in 1994 I lived in my car and drove around the country for 2 months, he came up to me and he's the only person that said, like, I wish I could have done that. Like, I wish I would have done that. But he was such a cool guy. But the beer I named after him with my clip art. Let's see. This was 60% Barca Pilsner, 13% Barca Munich. So I added Barca Munich. That was 8 Lovabond. And Bayerman describes Barca Munich with notes of honey and pastries. And then we've got I added Carafa 1, which was 237 Lovabond. That was just under 1%. That was for color. And they say with Carafa Type 1, you get coffee, cocoa, and dark chocolate, but I don't think you're going to get much of that. And then I added, just for gravity, a pound of Pilsen Light and a pound of honey, which was 4% of the fermentables. I'd gone into it thinking I should start out seeing if I can meet the Reinheitsgebot. And pretty quickly, I just said, I'm not going to even try. This is also Hallertau with the 2.6 alpha acids. What was I shooting for here? About the same. I did an ounce of first wort, so 60 minutes, and an ounce at 20 minutes. And then this uses the yeast that the other beer created. And it was going that night.
Yeah.
I took a picture hours later, and you could see that the yeast was starting to form on top. And then by the time I went to bed, it had a full covering over the top of white foam.
And what was your fermentation temperature?
That was 60 degrees as well to start out. Yeah, same thing for the mash, about 150 degrees. Efficiency was very low, but that's okay. I still ended up at 1.110 for the original gravity. And then 1028 was the final gravity.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I would not have said that it was 1028. It's very drinkable, to say another one of my words, but it's not, you would think that something that finished 1028 would be flabby and thick and
more cloying.
Yeah, it's
this is good. The malt character is amazing. Like, you can smell it, you can really taste it. Very flavorful malt, but less sweetness, far less sweetness than I would expect from 1028 finishing gravity. Really well done fermentation. Like, for such a high gravity fermentation, clearly pitching that much yeast and getting the fermentation started did the trick, because this is very clean.
Yeah, it's another amazing beer. Wow, that's
I would not peg this at 12% ABV either.
No. I was going to say it's deceptively drinkable, which is another one of my catchphrases.
It looks like and tastes like and drinks like a Doppelbock, which would be more like 8.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's got the depth of flavor. It goes a little deeper than most Doppelbocks that I've had, and this is almost bordering on like German barley wine. Oh. Like, it's got just like so much malt you can really just dive your nose into. But that bark is still there, bringing all this. I still get that. I can't separate that grainy, like dried, fresh harvest
Yeah,
character.
the malt character between the first one, which was essentially the yeast starter for this, and then this one, very similar. I mean, you can definitely pick out that there's something malt related that's the same.
Does anyone get any smoke, or did I not rinse the sumac out appropriately?
I'm not getting any smoke.
Yeah, I'm not smelling any smoke.
Well, then I need to rinse my glass thinner or use a different glass. It's a very sumac-y theory
Yeah.
here.
Any comments on adding more or less minerals?
Yeah.
I kept it low actually on the minerals.
Oh, you really should have tripled the minerals on this one, Scott.
I knew it.
Triples are best.
But you did this with a reiterated mash?
Yes. Yeah. So I did.
Had you ever done that before? Reiterated?
Nope. First time.
Long brew day, huh?
Yeah, especially when you make another beer out of that beer.
Yeah.
And I think,
man, that's
I think it was short, but I think I transferred the first beer as I was brewing this beer, so that yeast would be completely fresh out of the bottom of that. That was in a keg, and then I actually had a clear plastic PET fermenter that I did the big beer in because I wanted to watch it.
Yeah, so at the end of the process, I did the same thing, and so I transferred the fermented starter beer out as the beer was boiling outside, the bigger beer was boiling outside, and then at that point I had like maybe, I don't know, better part of a gallon of Trub in the bottom of my glass carboy, and then I pitched the bigger beer on top of that. So at the end, you got a bunch of Trub. Or at least I did. Did you?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But yeah, a whole bunch of yeast. That was it's exciting.
So, what was your yield? How much did you get out of the big beer?
About 3.5 gallons.
Yeah, that's right on.
Which is
what
good.
I had.
Yeah, and I just as I poured the beer for this show, I just kicked the Pilsner keg.
Oh,
because
no!
Obviously, I've been liking it. I still do have some bottles around because I thought people might be into it. And I keep selling it as like, there's nothing special about this beer. Please don't come back and tell me it's the best beer you had when I give it to somebody. I just say, this is a normal beer. Because people are used to getting a grape ale or a Saison. I'm always giving them something that's a little bit off, I think.
You found your calling. You need to just brew beer and whatever German barley wine thing this Dr. Bishop is.
Beer and super strong beer.
Does your Dr. Bishop, does he look like the clip art dude that you brought here? Is that why you picked it?
No, not at all. I just wanted the body of a doctor and the head of a bishop.
I was going to say, he's got a Pope hat on.
Yeah, I spent about 10 minutes the first day and wasn't happy, and then I spent about 5 minutes the next day. I was like, that's the one.
Is it true that he could only walk in diagonal lines around you?
I know you didn't use oak or any wood, but
no.
Just sort of that darker character reminds me of kind of a toasty oak or toasty.
It's got to be the Carafa, right?
You're asking me?
Carafa in there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, unless there's enough. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much equal parts Munich and Vienna, and they were 13% each of the total malt bill.
A malt bill like this with the Barca malt, it seems to me that you can make a fantastic Oktoberfest out of this. Like I'm a huge fan of Oktoberfest, especially the sort of orangey looking ones that are imported from Germany.
Yeah, this is kind of like an imperial Oktoberfest. This is like
almost.
Very, 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 very strong Oktoberfest.
Wouldn't be drinking liter
No.
jugs of this one.
No.
No, like a whole Krug, yeah.
Yeah, I'd dial it back a little, I think. Only like 9.9%.
So do we want to? I forgot to get my judging cheat sheet on this beer to do the scoring. Should we be official and do the scoring, or shall we? Adam's nodding, of course. Means I have to get up.
Gotta put in the time and the effort. It's the least we can do is give him a proper.
All right, I have to get up. Y'all, of course, I'm recording this, so I'll hear what you say about me as I walk away. But I'm getting up now.
Look how old James looks.
What?
I was going to talk about the smell, but
Yeah, you're getting the
let's get
smell
back
of
to
James
the
to the,
beer.
to the camera.
the camera. That's amazing.
Wow. Instead of
Technology
bug
is
spray,
there.
it smells like James.
Yeah, don't review the tape, James.
Okay, I'm back.
And that's what she said,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
right?
I'm looking forward to hearing that later. Okay. So our characteristics here: very high ABV. Yeah, I would say yes. Low bitterness.
Yep.
I would say yeah.
Yes.
Amber. I would say right
You betcha.
on. Lager. Oh yeah, your second lager. And then of German influence, I'd say yes. I'd say it's an imperial,
Yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Sehr gut, Zamolo.
Okay, so now theme / originality, scoring from 1 to 5 points. Scott, tell us the story of this beer?
This beer was made with the yeast from another beer and a reiterated mash. I think the ingredients tell the story. It's all German ingredients. It's German yeast.
He told the story, named it after Dr. Bishop, who
And the guy
seemed
that
like
taught
a
me German.
No helping.
older German man.
And what is it? Sammy Claus is Austrian. But when I tasted it next to it, I thought I was trying to depart a little bit from what Sammy Claus is. But when I tasted them next to each other, it was like a degree of, it was like 75% thickness in mine and 100% in Sammy Claus. So it was closer than I thought it was going to be to that.
So Sammy Claus is a heavier beer?
I think so. And a sweeter, pushing more cloying, thicker body. But this is getting close to it.
I
my
can
opinion.
totally see Austrians or Germans, if they make a beer this big, they would purposely try to add that extra sweetness and body to slow you down so you don't drink 100 of these and die. Because, like, this beer, the way you brewed it, is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to check myself at the brewery every once in a while when I make a beer like this and be like, oh, we are not selling pints of this. We're not selling this in large cans. This is going to be, we're going to have to tell everyone, hey, because not everyone thinks about ABV and residual sugar and everything like us brewers do. So you need to have sometimes some little like warning signs that, hey, you're drinking something really, really big.
You're about to have 2.5 beers all at once.
Yeah, in one
Yeah.
beer.
2.5, 5% beers.
Yeah, at some point there was some state that was trying to pass legislation that said that breweries couldn't advertise the ABV of their beers, like on tasting boards and menus and things like that.
Yeah.
What?
Because they thought that it would encourage people to drink more.
Yeah.
But
when in reality,
it's crazy.
it helps
That is
you.
crazy.
Yeah, it helps
It's
you moderate.
reckless.
I
Yeah.
mean, obviously there are going to be people who use it to drink the biggest beer they can, but if you want to give people tools to be more responsible.
Was this during COVID or what? Because I was
No.
totally getting people coming in during peak COVID and being like, what's your strongest beer you have and how many can you sell me at once?
This was many years ago. I'd say 5 on theme and originality. You guys, are we going to collaborate? You guys, let's collaborate because I won't have
Is
to.
that out of 5?
Yeah.
I'd say given the reiterated mash and brewing an entire beer as a starter, yeah, if this doesn't deserve a 5, I don't know what the hell would.
And it's his second lager ever, so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to
Yes.
give him an extra point for that somewhere. Why not here?
Yeah. Extra points.
Okay. Appearance from 1 to 3. Mine poured. It's perfectly clear, and maybe thanks to my plastic cup, it poured with a generous foamy head on the top. I can't find any fault with the appearance whatsoever.
Hey, the guys on the camera will get this reference, but I give it a 3 as well.
Oh, he's not a spy. Okay. Aroma from 1 to 5.
I'd give this at least 4 to 4.5, somewhere in there. It smells. The malt is 4.5.
Foomph.
Is that 4?
It's a 5.
That's 5.
Oh goodness! Whoa.
If you had gone with just regular Weirman, Munich and Vienna, you'd get a 4. You get a 4, sir. But that Barca just brings you can't punch any higher than you punched with this malt. So
I'm gonna
giving
put
you
down
5.
I'm gonna put down a 5 for that. Okay, flavor from 1 to 10.
I'd say a solid 7.5. I mean, it's good. It's a good beer.
Dang tasty.
I don't want to give decimals today. I'm not feeling like decimals. I know Chris is all about it, but I'm gonna give you an 8. I'm doing 8.
And you said 7.5.
7.5.
And I don't know what it would take to get up higher, so I feel a little guilty saying 8 because I don't have any suggestions for how to improve, other than like for some reason it's ringing the like barley wine bell in my brain a little bit more than I want it to, and I want to bring it back more German. I don't know how you do that. Maybe like have a little German finishing hop in there just to say a little more German.
And then finish 1 to 2. I'm going to say 2. I got
I'll
nothing.
have.
So out of all those, you only got 2 points off. So I think it's it's 25 points. So you got a 23 out of 25. I'd say that's pretty dang good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no, this was a good beer.
Yeah, super good. Especially noting the degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super good. Not surprising that it's super good. Okay. Let's celebrate with a spin of the wheel.
It better be good. I'm sorry.
Well, the colors are pale, gold, amber, brown, black, and red. Are you rooting for any one of those, Scott?
I would say less dark, but I'm good with all those.
Oh,
Is red's on the got tacked onto the end?
yeah.
How's that different from amber?
Oh, it's Killian's Red is not an amber beer, is it?
Back to hibiscus.
There you go. That's the only way to do it is hibiscus.
I don't know. I can't remember.
All these amendments when I'm not around.
I think I weaseled that in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think that was the
and you
Scott
didn't
Housel
notice.
edition.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to take a point away if that's true.
Oh, here we go.
4.
4 is
Is that red?
brown.
Brown.
Ooh, Chris Colby's favorite beer.
Oh, Jesus. Well, it doesn't have to turn out that way. Although, what is it? Average strength, low bitterness, brown beer so far? What other?
It's a
What
medium
happens?
medium ABV, low bitterness, brown.
Ooh, that is an English brown or an American brown right now. I like
Okay, so the type is lager, ale, and sour. So
ale.
here we go.
Feeling sour would fit right in.
Sour.
Ale.
Oh.
Got ale. Brown. Technically a brown ale.
Just make an American brown. for Colby here.
I'm gonna save the last after we. Are we ready to sample the last beer?
Are you ready to completely change gears?
It's gonna be a long show. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with that though. Okay, what's this last beer we're sampling?
Lambic.
So this comes from the my Solera type project of lambic style, calling it flambic, making fun of Florida a little bit. But it also contains what you've had before, that Belgian grape ale. I was getting to the end of that keg, and I took some 1-year-old of my new mixed culture, and then some from the Solera. And it's almost equal parts, maybe a little bit less of the wine beer. But so it's got some of that, the Belgian grape ale.
Well, I'm gonna have to switch back to glass cups because
My goodness.
I've got like
Wow.
90% foam.
That's a Lico pour, right?
I poured
Yeah.
it. I poured carefully.
Certainly the most carbonated, highly carbonated of the bunch today. It really hissed. Really a lot of bubbles.
That's a lambic, all right.
Mm.
You could smell from the instant that cracked the bottle. It's like, yeah, that's a lambic.
Oh man!
Well, and I'd say that in a good way.
I
As
just
a fan
tasted.
of
I just
lambics.
tasted the foam. It tastes really, really good.
Fan of flambics over here.
It's tart with a little bit of. I get a little bit of cinnamon, at least on the foam.
I'm getting sumac again, guys.
Well, there may have been
I
some
really gotta
cross
get a second glass.
contamination.
Yeah, you need more than one glass, Adam. Wow, that's delightful.
This is tart, like a lambic should be, but it's not. There's like I was there. Canyon lambics are like insanely tart.
Mm-hmm.
This is a step back from that, and it has a little bit of sweetness, and it's more balanced than the battery acid attack of like a Cantillon, which I actually like, but it's not. A lot of people add sugar or something to that to moderate it, and this is the flavor is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is like those lambics where they back sweeten with sugar after the fact, but you didn't do that here. It's a little more integrated. It's a little more. They
What was
actually
the-
seem like a little bit of like adding sugar to coffee or adding sugar to tea. It doesn't always incorporate. This is more of like I think the sweetness belongs here.
What was the grape variety?
Chilean Sauvignon Blanc.
And this was the kit that you got by mistake, and you decided to brew a beer with the must from the accidental wine kit.
Exactly. And this is the one that had the the triple yeast. But by the end, I think they were all very Sauvignon Blanc-y.
So was there any more fermentation post blending, or how did that work out?
No, I think everything had, and I kept it cold. So maybe by the time it got to you, maybe that's your little extra foam.
Well, of course, everything was foamy.
But I don't think so. They were pretty dry.
Oh,
I think mine got the most abuse. Mine arrived like 4 days later than the rest of you guys, and it's been in the 90s up here, so maybe mine's a little more attenuated.
the shipping company, I sent you a picture, Scott. The shipping company like ripped off half of my shipping label. I'm surprised it got here.
I'm not surprised there was no leaks because Scott packs his beers way like there could be an atomic blast and his beers would be fine. Like Indiana Jones could climb inside one of those boxes and then atomic test site, he'd climb out the other side just fine. The way you pack these beers.
Well, I think Scott and I both took place in that science experiment in junior high where you packed your eggs as carefully as you could, and then the science teacher threw them off the top of the building. Uh,
Yeah, and a shampoo bottle with a bunch of foam in it does not save your egg. That was my attempt, and it was lame, and I haven't thought about that. Thanks a lot, James. That was a failure.
PT.
That reminds me of
SD.
remember when David Letterman, he had a recurring segment on the show where they just threw off the roof.
Yeah,
Watched it break.
well, you throw things off the 5-story building. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then when he moved to CBS, they throw stuff out the window.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing I remember most is pantyhose full of pudding.
Oh. Oh. Wait. Medium ABV, low bitterness, brown ale, pantyhose.
Oh
Pudding.
no!
I got it. I know
Oh
my
no!
next word.
Yeah, he's dry hopping with pantyhose.
Pantyhose ale.
Okay, so let's see. I got to count because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 origin. We have U.S., Germany, the British Isles. I expanded UK to the British Isles so we could put Ireland in there. Belgium, Australia. Belgium. Yeah, Australasia, Scandinavia, world, and fantasy sci-fi. So-
World is such a cop out, James.
Well, that's like
Call it.
everybody
Which world?
else, and it's the and the rest of the.
Whenever you
Yeah.
say world in this challenge, it reminds me. I used to work at Walmart, and I had to walk by the like CD sample thing, and they had like music of the world, and it was just like you'd hear Enya, and then you'd hear some like African drum circle, and then you'd hear like that's where my brain goes, and it feels like cultural appropriation, James.
I'm just trying to be inclusive. I want to get everybody, because we can't name everybody, but I want
Yeah, we
everybody
can.
else who we're not naming specifically to be.
I want to name them all off individually. We got a random number generator can handle it.
We should
Marshall.
break up Scandinavia into Norwegian,
God.
Swedish, Finnish, Icelandish,
Anyway,
Faroe Islands,
Yeah, for your role, we're going to do that.
yeah,
and then
exactly.
world. Yeah, the
Yeah.
rest of the world.
A world. Okay, here we go.
Laplanders.
Come on, man.
Oh, I think it's what Scott is rooting for.
No. No. I don't know what that
Fantasy
is.
sci-fi.
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
Pudding stockings it is then, right?
That's right.
Finally.
Fits right in. Wow.
Okay, so is there anything you want to change? We got medium ABV, low bitterness, brown ale with fantasy sci-fi.
I think I want to change the color. Let's
Okay.
see. Let's see what happens with the color.
Okay, so I'm only
Because
gonna
what
do.
color is Tranya?
Tranya was kind of like orange, yellowish orange, if I
Okay.
remember correctly.
Let's
Oh,
roll
okay.
that.
I hope you relish it as much as I. Okay, here we go.
We'll find out.
We have red.
Just to piss Adam off.
I get to judge this beer, right?
I don't know. I was thinking we'll change things up a little bit.
So medium ABV, low bitterness, red ale with fantasy / sci-fi influence. I think you're gonna have fun with that. That's gonna be
What was
good.
in the books? Pan-galactic gargle blasters were blue, right?
But they're like very high ABV.
But they were like he said, like having your head, bashed in with a brick with a lemon wedge. So that wouldn't be a
Oh,
Which
what?
book was that?
Hitchhiker's
Was
Guide?
that Hitchhiker's Guide?
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Yeah.
Galaxy,
Yeah,
or
the
that series
original.
at least.
And what was the joke? When you make the jump into hyperspace, it's kind of like being drunk. And he says, "Well, that doesn't sound too bad." And he's like, "Ask a gin and tonic," or something like that.
Nice.
But you got to
One
put
thing I
your...
remember from that series was wasn't there like a booth that could torture people, and then the one Zaphod found out it was powered by a piece of like lemon cake, and he ate the cake, and then he couldn't be tortured anymore.
Now you're testing my my knowledge of things
There was-
that
That was
I
Restaurant
learned
at the
in
End
high
of the Universe. I think they had that one. We are nerds,
school. Yes.
all of us.
Wow. Well, that was fun.
Yes.
All beers were delicious, as expected, and very well brewed. And I look forward to the medium ABV, low bitterness red ale with fantasy sci-fi influences. Surely
Me too.
there's something out there. Maybe you can make a graph.
That's always been the thought.
Now's the time in the show when we go off the
When we
air
dance.
When we
And,
dance.
and finish
Now is
the
the
rest
time
of
on Sprockets when we dance.
Touch the monkey.
and then finish the Dr. Bishop. Okay, guys, thanks so much. And
Peterson.
let's do a cheers with one of our beers. I'll do with the Dr. Bishop. Thanks for being a part of the past 20 years. The next show, I think we start into the next 20 years. I don't know. Cheers, guys.
Right on. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Well, thanks again to everybody, and especially thanks to Scott for sending those delicious beers. Next week, I think we'll be back in Tulsa to talk to the Foam Club members, or Fellowship of Oklahoma Ale Maker Club members, about how they met the Mash Your Luck Challenge. In the meantime, if you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to James at basicbrewing.com or just fill out the contact form at basicbrewing.com. And please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Check out our mobile-friendly shop at basicbrewingshop.com. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check that out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. So until next time, until then, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dodson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voicing. We'll talk to you next time, everybody. In the meantime, stay well and stay tuned. So long.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.